Journalist Anna Hrupnikova lived in Donetsk before Russia's invasion in 2014. At that time, Anna was pregnant and took part in numerous pro-Ukrainian rallies. The so-called referendum in Donbas, which was held in May 2014, almost coincided with the birth of her daughter.
I gave birth to my daughter on the 9th of May. I was in the maternity hospital. My friends came to see me that day. None of us, neither my family nor friends, attended that referendum. At the time, I was not that scared to say that I was not going to attend it, that I was against it.
Most of the people who did not support the Russian-led forces in Donetsk did not go to the polling stations.
It was probably a mistake made by everyone. No one thought that it was serious. Those who voted for it just thought that they would vote and everything would be fine and no one would reveal it. That all in all, everything would be fine. People didn't vote for Russia. They wanted to live in the same way they had lived before, in prosperous and beautiful Donetsk. They just wanted their salaries and pensions to be slightly higher. They heard about wages in Russia. They needed nothing but these numbers. And those pro-Ukrainian people who were against the referendum thought, this is ridiculous. Let's organize a referendum on this street. Everyone will vote for something. But in fact, nothing will happen, right?
Pro-Russian rallies were held in the Donetsk and Luhansk regions at the time. Pro-Ukrainian activists, in turn, faced a range of attacks and persecution. Political scientist Stanislav Fedorchuk says that this was years in the making.
When Viktor Yanukovych lost the vote at the 2004 presidential election, a rather spectacular meeting was held in Severodonetsk. Members of local, regional councils, as well as the Verkhovna Rada, took part in it. They decided that they would like to hold a referendum in southwestern Ukraine and separate it from Ukraine. Some people had made this decision, but at that time, unfortunately, neither the Security Service of Ukraine nor Prosecutor General's office responded to that.
It was badly organized, with the ballots printed using ordinary printers and without voters' lists. One person could have voted at a dozen polling stations, and the procedure itself was not monitored by international observers.
Ordinary pieces of paper served as ballots. There were no watermarks at all. Any commission member could have printed 100 more ballots at any time. People often voted without documents. Big voter turnout was shown to Russia's TV channels, but in fact, there were very little polling stations.
The Ukrainian government and Western leaders denounced it as illegitimate, as the country's administrative and territorial structure could have only been changed through an all-Ukrainian referendum.
The statements which were made and resolutions that were adopted did not recognize the fact of what had happened. So those territories were not recognized as territories that had changed their status, separated from Ukraine, or had the right to demand autonomy. Since this is illegal, it's a violation of the rules that were established in international relations as a whole. Additional elements showing the aggressor state were introduced. We call them sanctions.
On May 12, 2014, Russian-led forces took control of the Donetsk and Luhansk regions. Anna and her family moved to Kiev, as Donetsk became a dangerous place for pro-Ukrainian activists. She's rebuilding her life in the capital, but dreams of one day returning to her native city. Yulia Krychkova, UATV.